These things are still sitting in the water after 15 minutes and they're still flashing away. Waterproof, no problem. Bit of rain, no worries. Driven over by a truck, sweet as. Thrown around the room onto the concrete, no dramas. I'm not sure what else to say. It's a no-brainer. So what are they and what do they do? These are LED road flares. These have been designed to replace, mainly in the United States and throughout Europe, actual pyrotechnic flares. A few years ago I worked for a traffic business where these were implemented for a maintenance contract down on the Gold Coast here in Queensland. These little guys were put in the taper in between the cones and put onto a flash mode, and then to recharge them all we do is plonk them in the case. This is a really simple addition that you can make to any work site, day or night really, because they are quite visible during the day as well, to create a really obvious taper. Now I'm not sure how many of you have had a car blow through your taper or not merge. These obviously don't replace cones, and cones are pretty visible, but these will catch your eye. With the moving light, they attract your attention, and then the driver asks themselves, well, what's going on? What has to happen here? I'm not sure if any of the road authorities would be happy with you using blue on the road. These two little contacts here is what charges them, and there's corresponding contacts in the case. Each one obviously has those. So this becomes the charging station for your devices. It does come with a car charger. It also comes with a wall charger. Once you've finished and you pack up your work site, you put all of these back into the case. You clip up your case, you put it on the floor of the passenger's seat, you plug it in and you plug it into the cigarette lighter, and it's done. By the time you get home, there'll be enough charge in there for the job tomorrow night. I know a lot of you are going to ask or make the comment that these aren't approved, there's no standard for these, they're not going to be allowed on the road, otherwise everyone would have them. Look, there is no standard for these. There is nothing in an MUTCD, in the Australian standard, in any other document, MRTS or otherwise, issued by RMS, Vic Roads, TMR and Main Roads WA that I can find that will say that these are allowed or not allowed. There's nothing in an Australian standard that refers to these. There is no Australian standard for these. When these came out a couple of years ago, they got a lot of attention. Our client on the Gold Coast loved it. As a result, it was on most work sites that were asphalting works, exit ramps, other large work sites where we had a high volume of traffic. Now these are pretty straightforward in terms of their construction. They've got a clear polycarbonate interior. You can see around the top, which is where it opens, they've got a black rubber seal. This creates a waterproof product. This blue, it is quite tough, and it's designed to be tough because they get thrown on the road, run over by cars, they get dropped, they get thrown in the back of utes. This is a really old one. It's got to be 6 years old. It has had quite a hard life. You can see where it's been run over by cars and those sorts of things. This one here is brand new. That's the one I drove over in a very large truck. Still see bits of gravel stuck in between there. Really durable product. We've done a number of tests with these. This is the sort of thing that is available on the market today that a lot of people don't pay too much attention to. It's an additional thing that can be thrown into your work site to make it really obvious that it is a work site, or that it is a taper, or that you have broken down. So I usually design my tests around what would this normally go through and what does it normally need to withstand. So rain. Obviously when you're out on site, some rain comes through, they're going to get wet. So how is it going to go in the wet? We'll just leave that there and see what happens over the next 15 minutes or so. Actually, let's put a red one in there just so we've got party lights. We'll also do a strength test for these. I'll go and grab a dirty great big truck and we'll drive over them and see what happens. These things take about 2 hours to charge from what we think is almost dead to fully charged. Now, as you can see, these little indicators on the corner of the case, they light up when they detect that there is a beacon in place, or a flare. I'm going to call them flares. A flare is fire. These are kind of beacons, but they're used as a flare. So I'm going to call them Fleacons. What else can we do with them? Like these, oh, the drop test. And we need something to aim at. Done. That's our target. These are designed to be knocked around. They're not toys. These are a proper, reasonable product that just work, and you can knock them around. Not that you should go out of your way to look after your stuff, but you can knock them around and it's not going to kill them. So these, really durable. Oh, that's the other thing, they're magnetic. So the two little metal contacts that are there, they're for charging. The screws is how you take it apart, and the big one in the middle is a magnet. So if you want to stick it on the side of your car or onto a metal box or something similar, they just clip straight on. I mean, that's not a flat surface like a car paint job, but that's it there. And it's a reasonably strong magnet. Yes, I just knocked it off, but hey, it's durable, it's not going to die. Also ideal if you're having a rave party at home in the pool. All in all, would I buy these? Yep, 100%. These, as we've seen, are pretty durable, they're waterproof, not only showerproof, they can be run over by a truck, they work great at night, they've got 9 different settings to them. They're pretty indestructible, they're rechargeable, they come with a case, you can charge it in your car, they're easy to use. It's really a no-brainer. If you're a traffic business and you've got lots of crews out on night shift and they're doing lane closures, really got to think about why you're not using them rather than why should we use them. It's just a good product. I wouldn't be getting the blue ones, I'd be getting the amber ones. Circling back to compliance and are we allowed to? I've used these on TMR roads throughout the Gold Coast for a couple of years with no problems. The TMR South Coast inspectors love these. Their opinion is that it makes the worksite so much more obvious, especially when you're on approach and can't see the actual work happening. It might be just around a corner, but you're doing a lane closure or you've got a closure point. These would also be great at a traffic control point. So if you're standing there and you're doing traffic control with a stop slow bat requiring you to step out and stop a car, these could quite easily be used to create a stop bar, or in addition to the 2 rows of 4 cones, to highlight that as a corral. There's lots of options with these. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of companies out there that say, no, they don't like them, adds confusion, there's already lots of beacons on the worksite, and all of those excuses why not to explore these or test them in your business as an option. But I think they at least need to be tested on your type of works. These would be ideal in a temporary lane closure where you've had to put in a gate and know where the gate is rather than having to look for 2 cones that are together or something similar. The magnet could very well be used to clip or to stick to a multi-message frame to draw attention to the fact that there's a sign there. Everyone complains that motorists don't read our signs. Maybe this could draw their attention to it. If you're in the industry, you've got work lights on your vehicle and that sort of stuff, these need to fit a purpose, and the purpose is to sit on the road, be driven over, but to draw attention. Or to stick on a sign, get knocked off, fall on the road, but to gain attention. I'd be looking to get half a dozen of these, talk to my clients, send them out on site put some instructions on how to use them. So we use flash pattern number 6. In this circumstance, you only put them in the taper, or you only put them at your control point. You only use these if this. Like, give you guys some guidelines so it doesn't get out of hand and these don't end up being stuck on everything, everywhere, all of the time. Definitely worth a look. If you're in the traffic business and you want to create a work site that is more visible, these 100% do that. It's can't argue with that. Does it add more to the visual noise? Potentially. So maybe you don't use them in that circumstance, or maybe you use them just as a solid on, so they're not flashing or anything like that. What you come up with and how you choose to use them, entirely up to you guys. I'm just here to have a look at this product, let you know that it's here. These things are still sitting in the water after 15 minutes and they're still flashing away. Waterproof, no problem. Bit of rain, no worries. Driven over by a truck, sweet as. Thrown around the room onto the concrete, no dramas. I'm not sure what else to say. It's a no-brainer. I'm keen to see these on roads everywhere, entirely up to you obviously, but if you ever get the chance to get some, grab them, stick them out on trial in your own business and make up your own mind. You know they're durable, you know they're waterproof, you know they're simple to use, and you know they recharge. They're not going to break easily. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to subscribe down here and check out some of the other videos that we've got going on. Thanks for listening to Traffic Talk.